The third verse of the song takes a look at some other functions in the nucleus and how it affects the cell and even other cells. So the first two lines are, Mr. Nucleolus brings the ribosomes that make proteins. They take an endoplasmic trip around the cell on reticulum 19. So this, as we talked about before, the nucleolus creates ribosomes that create proteins for the cell, and then those proteins can be used for cell structure and support. So the nucleolus brings the ribosomes that make proteins. They take an endoplasmic trip around the cell on reticulum 19. So the endoplasmic reticulum is a series of like tubes and canals where things can be shipped or sent all around the cell. So these proteins are created by the ribosomes, which are created by the nucleolus, and then they get shipped all around the cell on the endoplasmic reticulum. A lot of words. So here's how we're going to demonstrate this. Like we did in the second verse, we know the nucleolus creates ribosomes, which creates proteins. So we're going to do the tray of ribs again. We shortened ribosomes to ribs. So we have the tray of ribs. So Mr. Nucleolus brings the ribosomes that make proteins. They take an endoplasmic trip around the cell on reticulum 19. So this is the proteins going through one of the tubes or canals of the endoplasmic reticulum. Great. The next part is, you know they're received because the Golgi bodies put them in the vesicles and fill the need. So before the proteins are sent into the endoplasmic reticulum, they are sent to the Golgi bodies, or the Golgi bodies go and they take the proteins and they package them in a vesicle, sort of like a box, so that they can be then sent into the endoplasmic reticulum. So it's a kind of a middle step there. The Golgi bodies package the proteins in vesicles, and then they put them, or then they can go into the endoplasmic reticulum. So here's how we're going to demonstrate that. So we got the protein going along endoplasmic reticulum. You know they're received because the Golgi bodies put them in these vesicles, and this box is our vesicle. The Golgi bodies put them in this box and they tie it up because they're the mail room of the cell. They box it up and then they throw it into the endoplasmic reticulum, and it fills the need. So the protein will go into the cell wherever it's needed. All right, so let's go through that whole thing again. So Mr. Nucleolus brings the ribosomes that make proteins. They take an endoplasmic trip around the cell on reticulum 19. You know they're received because the Golgi bodies put them in these vesicles and fill the need. All right, let's try it with the music. Oh, there's one last part. So after the bridge, so this is the next part after the bridge, but there's a na 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 part that's like a chorus. So it just goes na 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 na, a bunch of nas, and then it says flexible and strong. So I'm going to actually demonstrate that. So I'm just going to do flexible and strong, and then go into the third verse. It'll make sense in a second.
There were chemicals that don't feel.
Do whatever you want here.
Break it down. La na 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 na.
Twist.
Na 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 na. Flexible and strong. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Mr. Nucleolus brings the ribosomes that make proteins. They take an endoplasmic trip around the cell on reticulum 19. You know they're received because the Golgi bodies put them in these vesicles and fill the need. Plants of cellular walls, but we...
Great. Let's try it one more time.
They're aiming to break it down. La na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Flexible and strong. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Mr. Nucleolus brings the ribosomes that make proteins. They take an endoplasmic trip around the cell on reticulum 19. You know they're received because the Golgi bodies put them in these vesicles and fill the need. Plants of cellular walls.
So that is the third verse.